And Redskins is the sheer mass of their running game. How the Dallas Cowboys respond to that pressure is a big factor in tonight's matchup.
Dallas has looked better as a team in preseason games this year, but their major problem can be summed up in one word: quarterback.
Monday night matchup, brought to you by Mazda and the full line of sophisticated Mazda products.
Hi, I'm Steve Sable, and along with Ali Sherman, welcome back to Monday Night Matchup. And we begin this season with a game that's not only a fascinating matchup, but a genuine rivalry between two of the NFL's most respected teams, the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. But there are those who say that the Dallas Cowboys' reign of power is officially over. Last season, the Cowboys lost more games than any Dallas team in 2 decades, and they missed the playoffs for the first time since 1974. The Cowboys simply lacked the talented players who led them to 5 Super Bowls in the 1970s. In fact, last year, only 3 Cowboys were selected to the Pro Bowl. History may someday judge Tom Landry as the smartest, most innovative coach ever to stalk a sideline. But tonight, Allie, we find Coach Landry surrounded by a bunch of Redskins with no credit card and no players to bail him out.
This is a difficult matchup to analyze, Steve, and the reason is that neither ball club on offense or defense has defined itself. Dallas, with its offense, is either a big play offense or it sputters. And their defense, they have a problem. They have a secondary problem against the pass. Washington, on the other hand, has made an acquisition of Thielman from Atlanta for their offensive line and Rodgers in the backfield. That helps their offense. However, the big question is, can their defensive secondary support the rest of the ball club against the pass? It all depends on how you look at it. It's the age-old exact axiom. Is their glass, negatively, if you look at it, is their glass half empty? Or positively, is their glass half full?
Well, we'll be back with a look at something that's definitely positive, and that's the Redskins running game.
Summertime saving time, summertime saving time.
It's summertime saving time at your Mazda dealers, and we're dealing on everything. On the economical GLC hatchback, on 626, a classic family car, RX-7, the enthusiast's dream. And during our factory-supported truck clearance sale, you can save hundreds on an 86 Mazda B2000. See your Mazda dealer during summertime saving time.
Mazda summertime saving time.
There's never been a better time to save.
Looking at things from a new point of view, and it's feeling strange to you. But McDonald's is the place that brings a smile to you.
Gibbs likes the Redskins to run at least 30 times a game. In games in which they have, the Redskins have won 38 and lost only 4. Washington's running game is effective because it's consistent. It takes a toll like a series of kidney punches. No single one of them hurts too much, but before you know it, there's internal bleeding. And if you'll excuse the pun, Coach, it brings on that run-down feeling.
The Redskin running game generates so much force that the Redskin runners appear to be running downhill. John Riggins is a one-man avalanche, but the real crushing power comes from Washington's massive offensive line. Tackle Joe Jacoby and guard Russ Grimm are huge all-pros who are devastating blockers when they pull to lead Washington's running backs. Whether it's Keith Griffin, number 35, George Rogers, or John Riggins running the play, it's usually the block of Joe Jacoby that clears the way into the secondary. But just as important tonight will be the blocking of center Rick Donnelly, number 76, on Cowboy tackle Randy White, number 54. If Donnelly cannot sustain his block, White will break through, and the Redskins' running game could be shut down. Controlling Randy White could be the key to Washington's ground attack tonight, because number 54 has shown the ability to dominate the line of scrimmage and produce big plays against Washington. Instead of blocking White straight on, look for Washington to attack from the side with angle blocks. If the center can shove him to the side just for an instant, guard Russ Grimm can execute a cross block on the linebacker, opening a lane for the runner. In recent meetings, John Riggins has had great success running against the Cowboys because of the ability of Russ Grimm, number 68, to control Randy White all by himself. Grimm's matchup with White is worth watching because if he cannot handle White alone, Washington will be forced to use a double team. With two blockers on White and no one blocking Cowboy linebacker Eugene Lockhart, Riggins can be stopped before he can knife into the secondary. So tonight, Allie, Randy White will be a factor whether he makes the tackle or not.
Well, Randy White is the most significant and key player in Dallas defense. What you're looking at here is the basic Dallas 4-3 flex with White, number 54, in the flex position off the line of scrimmage. Dallas has now added to that defensive concept by going to a 3-4 defense in which Randy White deepens into an interior linebacker position, Lockhart moves over, and at the same time, Dutton, the other tackle, moves head on the center into the nose guard position. And there you have the new Dallas 3-4 with the attempt to free Randy White up. Let's look at some film and see how Dallas moves from that 4-3 into the 3-4 defense. You're looking at the basic Dallas four-man line flex defense with the circled Randy White in the flex position. From this flex defense, you'll see the Cowboys move to their 3-4, with White shifting to an inside linebacker position. To complete this change, tackle John Dutton moves head on the center, which is the nose guard position, and middle linebacker Eugene Lockhart adjusts accordingly. You now see the first major change in many years in the Dallas defensive approach, with Randy White the key figure in this new alignment.
Allie, isn't it strange that the Dallas Cowboys would take Randy White, who has been a respected all-pro defensive tackle for 10 years, and now he's at the height of his career. They move him from defensive tackle to a linebacker. Now, that doesn't seem right to me.
Well, what they're trying to do is free Randy White up, Steve, and make use of his mobility and his agility. And to do that, they take him off the line of scrimmage where he could be double-teamed very easily. That's the point of attack. They've moved him to an inside linebacker position where he can roam and he can use those qualities. In fact, they're going to move him from inside linebacker to the outside linebacker. And let's take a look at that on film. Here's White moving from his down lineman position to an outside linebacker spot, and the rest of the defense adjusting their positions.
As you pointed out, Allie, Dallas is trying to take advantage of White's quickness and also prevent him from being double-teamed. Now, even though he doesn't make the tackle on this play, the defense works. All right, show us a negative aspect of this defense, Allie.
You see the beginning of the move out of the 4-3 flex, but before White can complete his shift, the ball is snapped. In this case, the Houston offense has turned the tables on the Cowboys' shifting defense. White is caught out of position and his effectiveness nullified.
Allie, we've just seen that Randy White can have some problems when he's moved to linebacker. But when he moves to linebacker, a lot of other players are going to be moved to new positions. Now, they're probably going to have problems, too.
Exactly, and what you're looking at is a danger in football. Theoretically, this could be effective. However, realistically, it's putting strain on more than just Randy White. It's putting strain on Dutton. It's putting strain on other linebackers playing out of position. And Randy White has to come a little ways to learn how to play from an upright position, too.
And look at Dutton. He goes to nose tackle. He's 6'7", and most nose tackles are these little sumo wrestlers. So he doesn't seem properly suited even to be in that position.
You're going to talk about those $300,000 nose guard guys,
right.
sumo wrestlers?
Coach, how do you attack this 3-4 if the Cowboys play it?
Okay, if you remember, we saw a shot in the film against Houston last week. The Dallas was getting into shifting from their 4-3, and Houston ran a quick count play, whether by intent or not. It caught Dallas in the middle of a shift, and boy, they got themselves about 6 yards. Randy White was nowhere near effective.
Quick count them.
That's right. You've got to go quick count. By quick count, I mean first sound out of the quarterback's mouth. They get over that ball, they set down, he goes, hup, and there they go. And if Dallas is starting to move, they're going to catch a lot of people flat-footed. The second way, the other way to go is you go to a long count. 4 or 5 count. Not 2-3, but 4 or 5. Reason? By 4 or 5, Dallas should have settled into whatever they shift into. Gives the quarterback a chance to look at that. Maybe he wants to convert a play that'll let him run right at Randy White, who isn't used to what he's doing.
Allie, you think this whole 3-4 could be a smokescreen? They won't even use it at all tonight?
Well, you called Tom Landry, probably the most brilliant guy who's going to walk the sidelines, possibly, early in the show. And it could be, I think he accomplishes 2 things. One is he's going to find out whether it's effective and he can utilize it with his people. And 2 is he's created a situation where everybody's going to play him, has to spend practice time during the week getting ready for the 3-4 besides the 4-3.
Okay, Allie, we'll be right back with a look at the Redskins' pass defense right after this.